What's up? I'm going to be showing you a review of two Rotule longboards today. We have the Desert Eagle, and we have the Speed Karrot back here, the two boards of the Rotule downhill series. First up, we have the Desert Eagle, running it with 44 caliber trucks and Cult Classic 80A. I use this board for free riding, lot of sliding, and a little downhill. I'm really trying to push my limits of the speed on this board. But what's really interesting about the Desert Eagle, I find, is its shape, because it is very, very practical and very different, for me at least. You see, we have this interesting kind of concave, really heavy W, really deep concave, and a notable feature is these gas pedals. I'm not really sure what you'd want to call them. I mean, I call them gas pedals or reverse gas pedals or something. And you notice, instead of normal gas pedals that come up and then go down, we have these, which actually, instead of going down, they come up even higher, and you might be able to see it, but that's actually the four corners where the concave comes up like that is actually the highest points on the board. So when it lands upside down, it goes right to the corners, which, because it's such a good construction though, the corners have held up pretty well, considering I've dropped it upside down and had its fair share of landing the wrong way. But the construction is 11 plies, and it's actually the same construction as the Speed Karrot. It's Canadian maple, sandwiched between two layers of carbon fiber, and this construction is beastly. It's absolutely brutal. There's no way this thing doesn't crack very easily. There's no way you could just go like crack this while just riding around, or even I've slammed it into curbs, you know. It's landed the wrong way many times. Nothing. I'm going to show you an example of how good their construction is. This is an earlier version of one of their boards. This is the 2010 Brainwash, I believe. And if you look, it got run over by an SUV right here at the neck, and it completely shattered it. I mean, I don't think any board will survive something like that, but if you look, it actually held up very nicely, considering how badly it got run over. Like, I can't pull apart this right here, much as I tried, because the carbon fiber it holds everything together. There's no way that this thing will ever come apart, even though it's not in rideable condition, which is why it's not set up, but I still like to keep it. This is my first board by them, so it's a good memento from my first vacation to Canada, which was that exact date there, actually. Yeah, so this isn't the same construction as the Desert Eagle, but this just goes to show how good their construction actually is. So I hope that was a good example. Rotule's boards are mainly waterproof. I've experienced that firsthand because I've rode it through puddles that were so much larger than the board itself. Actually, got caught in a giant thunderstorm that came out of nowhere. I can blame my friends for that. They insisted on getting soda, and I told them we should go home, but that's the point. Yeah, you probably noticed that this is a top mount, so puddles were pretty high, completely underwater multiple times that night. Constant heavy downpours, had to de-rust the calipers, had to, dry the bearings, and I had to re-lube them and everything. But the deck, pretty much just wiped it off and, dabbed the grip tape off with a towel, and that was about it. No water logging, no anything. Didn't have to worry about it. Still don't worry about it. You will never have to worry about pressure cracks or anything of the sort, because this construction is the best I've ever seen of any board. I don't really see how you can get much better than this. So I'm extremely pleased to have this board in my quiver. Also, on a side note, I really like this graphic. I think it's very stylistic. We got you got a little sign down here, a little truck going down a hill. Show it is in a very, very intense downhill board, and you see the carbon fiber actually is cut through right here. This is not painted on, this is the actual carbon fiber. Very shiny, still shiny to this day, even though I've had it for 7-8 months of constant riding, still held up pretty well. And if you're wondering, this signature does not come with the board, if you're just wondering. I think that about covers it. Oh, there's also multiple wheelbase options, if you can see there. I like to keep it at the furthest option because I really want my boards to last as much as they possibly can, so the less wood that you have hanging off over here, then the less chance it has of cracking. Not because I'm worried it's going to crack very easily, which I'm definitely not. I just want my boards to last as long as I can make them last. But I don't really have to worry about anything with this board. It's basically indestructible as far as I've tested it so far, and I see at least a few more years of riding and shredding this thing to death, because there's no way that this thing's gonna break anytime soon, unless it gets run over by a car, in which case it'll probably end up like this. Just a token of how much fun I used to have. But for now, I'm just gonna keep riding this thing till the day I die, probably. It's gonna last me so long. And I think that about covers it. So I'm going to move on now to the Rotule Speed Karrot right here. And I am running this setup with the older version of the Bear 852s, the 010 version or the 09 version. I don't know, whenever they still had them in chrome at least. And I'm running some 83A purple inheats, orangutan, very broken in and pretty coned, if you can see it there. So there's really no more grip left in this board, well, in these wheels at least, because they are broken in as hell. This board is 41 inches long, I believe, and this is actually 37 1/4. But despite the longer length of the Speed Karrot, it has a very, very similar foot platform. Your feet are probably going to be about the same space. To give you an example, well, to show you how the foot platforming is, I'm about 6 feet tall, and my stance is perfect on both these boards, so I really don't have a preference between one or the other, but they really both just outperform any of my expectations that I had for them. This is also in the downhill series, as I mentioned before, so it does its job perfectly, absolutely perfectly. Main difference between this and the Desert Eagle, though, this is a real drop board, not micro drops. I think about a 1/4 inch of drop right there. Really sick pockets we got right here. Really, really smooth. And, well, not smooth, but just ultra deep. And keep your feet completely locked in for those long-ass stand-ups, or whatever you like to do. Both these boards, pretty stiff. This board, considering it's 9-ply, little tiny more flex, but it doesn't really flex like at all. And this is stiff as a rock. None of these boards are gonna be flexing around while you're riding, so you don't have to worry about it for the downhill. You can go as fast as you want. That's why they're in the downhill series. Both are exceptional for free riding. This is why I love both equally. It's basically, I like to think it's all in the preference, which one. I don't have a preference to either one. Like, if I want to go skate and, maybe I'll feel I want to ride this today. Maybe I want to ride this another day. But I really can't ride both at once. That'd be cool though. So this also has a few different wheelbase options right here. Not too many, but it's got a few. So whatever you prefer. Once again, I have this to the longest wheelbase options because, like I mentioned before, I like to have the least wood hanging off, so when it gets curbed, least chance of cracking, even though I have yet to even give any of these a nasty crack because the construction just holds together so well. I don't really see how anything comes close, to be honest. I've been a customer of Rotule for a few years now. I've owned 2 brainwashes. One of them broke over there. The other one I did end up selling because I wanted money towards this Desert Eagle right here. But the new brainwash seems very, very nice. I'm looking forward to trying to get a new 2012 brainwash. So hopefully you might see a review of that in the future. But for now, rocking the Speed Karrot, got the Desert Eagle, and I'm extremely pleased to have both boards. I don't see them going anywhere for a really long time unless something catastrophic were to happen to them. I'm not too, stupid with it though. It's not like I'm chucking it into the main roads. So, I look at these and I think of years of more fun just to be had on the both of them because they hold up. They don't get more flexible over time. Well, I mean, at least this didn't. I haven't had this for as long as I've had this. So, but this is holding up amazingly. So, let your friends ride it. If it hits a curb, you don't freak out because you know that your board's gonna be fine when you pick it back up and you look at it. So, I mean, having a board that's gonna last is always a really nice feeling. You're not in constant fear that your board might break when you go out and skate. But I might bring you to the only negative point of these 2 boards is that they did cost a couple pennies to be able to get them. The Speed Karrot is about $220 the deck, and the Desert Eagle is about $209, $210 for the deck. And it might deter a few people, but if you just have the money, trust me, it is completely worth it. I'd rather get one board that lasts me and I'm extremely happy with than get a bunch of different boards that just break eventually. And it's a little bit of investment, but it pays off completely. I would really advise you to, if you're thinking about it, I would definitely do it. All their boards hold up so well, and I mean, I don't really see me getting any other boards. Not that I have any bias. I mean, I do love Lanyards and I love Earthwing. Boston's really nice. So, I mean, I really like all their boards, but none of their construction comes close to this. I mean, this is just, and I've seen Maestros break, I've seen mini Maestros just snap, I've seen extremely warped supermodels, I've seen supermodels get heavy cracks. I've witnessed a Comet FSM snap right in half in front of my eyes from doing one early grab, so, I mean, I don't have to worry about any of that with any of these, though. I've progressed so much after getting these, getting my switch going faster, holding them out longer, my toe sides are really nice, getting some pre-drifts down, definitely going a lot faster because the stiffness just it allows you to do whatever you want pretty much. Unless you're doing flip tricks constantly, then I mean I would probably go for the brainwash. The new version actually has dual kicks and is symmetrical, which is really, really nice. The Desert Eagle has a little bit of tail, which I kind of have gripped right here, but not too much. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of the whole flatland scene. So, it pretty much covers it. I mean, the Speed Karrot doesn't really have that much tail, but I don't really think you'd be using it to drop deck downhill. So, but these boards are pretty versatile. I mean, they're not too big, perfect size, both of them. No preference. For me, I don't have a preference over one or the other. It's just what I want to ride that day, which is really nice options. But for anyone looking to buy them, it's all about what you want to do. They both can perform downhill, free riding, sliding, huge stand-ups, anything you want. They'll perform, they'll exceed your expectations, I'm telling you. They're amazing construction, amazing shapes, and they get better every day. They're always looking for new ways to innovate their boards and make them stronger and even more indestructible than they already are. And I think a lot of people would agree with me that their construction is just the best out there. I really think so, which is why I'm probably looking forward to buying many more boards of theirs in the future, even if it costs me a couple, pennies. I'm definitely gonna work and save money and get some of their new boards, because they every year they come out with the better versions of their boards. It's really sick. But enough of that rambling. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Hope I helped you out with any questions that you need answered. If you have any more questions, you can leave it in the comments, and I will be sure to answer you. Thank you.